Resuming debate, reprise du débat, the Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Justice and Attorney General.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, and it's such an honour to stand up this morning to speak in support of the Fall Economic Statement. And let me begin by acknowledging that we're all gathered here on the traditional unceded lands of the Algonquin people. I want to just before I proceed, acknowledge that yesterday the Mayor of the City of Toronto appointed my municipal colleague, Dr. Jennifer McKelvey, as the Deputy Mayor for the City of Toronto. So I want to take this opportunity to congratulate her on this enormous responsibility she has, and I have every confidence that she will serve the people of Scarborough Rouge Park as well as the people of the City of Toronto exceptionally. So I look forward to working with her and, of course, the Mayor as he starts his third term. Mr. Speaker, there are a number of things that are here in the Fall Economic Statement, but I think the most glaring issue that I see is that of the current economic situation faced by Canadians. Inflation, although it's tapered down a little bit from its high, it's at 6.9%, and it's been persistent for the last couple of months. And when we talk to families, we had our constituency week last week, and I think many of us in this House were able to speak to families and individuals and students to talk about some of the challenges they have, and many have spoken to me about the increasing cost of living, increasing cost of housing, transportation, gasoline, as well as talk about some of their anxieties, especially students who go to both the U of T Scarborough in my riding as well as Centennial College. So I really want to thank Canadians who've been struggling a great deal over the last several months, but want to assure them that as a government we're here to support them. We're here to ensure that affordability remains front and center in the work that we do, and to make sure that we are there for them every step of the way. In fact, this is the reason, Mr. Speaker, we brought forward in just several months ago, and the checks went out about 2 weeks ago on doubling the GST credit, and that really does have a significant impact on millions of Canadians who need the support. We've also adopted dental care for young people with family incomes of less than $90,000, and there's no question that that is a critical component of what is required for the health and well-being of Canada's youth, and unfortunately many families simply are unable to afford it, and I think this is a very important step in ensuring that young people have dental care. But we're really building this from 2015 in terms of supporting Canadians, Mr. Speaker. If we talk about the Canada Child Benefit, for example, it supports young people and families across Canada. In my riding alone, it's had a significant impact on addressing the issues of poverty and poverty amongst our young people, and that's something that I think we can all take pride in. As a government, we've worked very hard and diligently to make sure that we target supports to those who need it and not give checks to millionaires and those who really don't need it. So it's a means-tested approach, one that I think is very smart and one that's really has had a significant impact on addressing the issues of poverty. The adoption of $10 a day childcare in Ontario is a game changer for many families. If we look at how we're supporting, let's say, for example, someone with 2 kids in childcare, we're talking about thousands of dollars in savings on an annual basis. It's something that is going to change how our workforce is. It's going to have more women enter the workforce and be supported by the government. As we introduced $10 a day childcare in Ontario this year alone, childcare expenses will be reduced by 50%, with the goal of it being reduced to $10 a day as we move forward. And that, too, is a very important aspect of addressing the issue of affordability. The National Housing Strategy is another perfect example of how we're addressing a number of things, including chronic homelessness, the need for transitional housing, as well as affordable housing within the market space. And we know that there are many different players. I know in Scarborough Rouge Park, for example, we have a number of initiatives. One we just announced several months ago with the Fred Victor Center, and we have a transitional housing that's being built, modular housing rather, and that will be available with proper supports for those who need it. And it is in fact replicated across not just the City of Toronto, but across Canada. And that's supplemented, of course, by, we have a project at what's called 250 Brenyon Way, where again, the National Housing Strategy as well as the CMHC is intricately involved in providing those supports. What I have to, given the limited time I have, Mr. Speaker, I do want to speak to a very key aspect of the Fall Economic Statement, namely the elimination of interest on student loans, the Canada Student Loan Program, as well as the Canada Apprenticeship Loan Program. I've always said, and I've repeated this many times in this House, education is the ultimate equalizer in society, and we can look through whether it's history or whether through even people in this House. My personal lived experience, education has given certainly me the tools to be able to do the things I do, whether it's as a lawyer or someone who was previously in business or working with youth. It's given me the skills through education. And the youth of today, we know, need the education, the formal education, whether it's through colleges, universities, apprenticeship, or trade programs. They need the education in order to compete in this world. And we've seen some phenomenal successes, whether it's in AI or in healthcare. We've seen an enormous amount of young people rising to the challenge, whether it's COVID-19 or whether it's developing the state-of-the-art technology. I can't tell you the number of times I meet people, whether it's during Christmas time or in the summer, where they've gone from Canada to the Silicon Valley or to other countries, Germany. There's someone very recently who went to Finland, working at like high-tech firms. But oftentimes young people are very apprehensive because if they don't have the means, if the families do not have the means to support the individual student, they're oftentimes very apprehensive in going forward with such a huge debt. And we know programs such as law and medicine in particular have a very high cost of entry, high cost of tuition, with the assumption that once you finish the program, your ability to earn a higher income is there. But the challenge, Mr. Speaker, and it's very true for many racialized first generation or Indigenous peoples, is that burden, the high level of debt that you would have to incur in order to pursue a specialized program, or even any program rather, can be a deterrent in someone being able to pursue post-secondary education or training. And therefore the elimination of the interest, federal interest portion of the student loan program, I think is a game changer. I was able to drop by the University of Toronto Scarborough campus, speak to some students. I talked to some students from Centennial College, and they feel very happy with with this elimination. But also, I've spoken to some people who are already graduated and who are working, who also feel like this is a very important measure that will allow them to be more secure, be able to really go through the next few months and save money. So I'm really pleased, Mr. Speaker, to support that. So with that, I'm looking forward to questions and comments from my friends, and thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.